Matthew chapter 22, verse 1 to 22. And Jesus answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants, and entreated them spitefully, and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies, and destroyed those murderers, and burned up their city. Then saith he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways, and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he saith unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. Then went the Pharisees, and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Jesus perceived their wickedness, and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he saith unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. When they had heard these words, they marveled, and left him, and went their way. Matthew chapter 22 continues Jesus' public confrontation with Israel's religious leaders. Having exposed their unbelief in the previous chapter, Jesus now gives the parable of the marriage feast. This parable reveals God's gracious invitation, Israel's rejection of that invitation, and the certainty of coming judgment upon those who refuse his call. The king prepares a wedding feast for his son and sends servants to invite those who had already been called. Instead of responding with gratitude, they reject the invitation. Some simply ignore it and return to their daily pursuits, while others mistreat and kill the king's servants. Their actions picture Israel's long history of rejecting God's prophets and ultimately their rejection of the Messiah himself. The king responds with judgment upon those who despised his invitation, and then commands his servants to invite people from the highways so that the wedding feast will be filled. This demonstrates that God's invitation will not fail because of man's unbelief. Those who respond are gathered into the celebration. However, one guest enters without a wedding garment. When questioned, he has no answer and is removed from the feast. The lesson is that merely associating with God's people is not enough. A person must come in the way God has provided, not according to his own terms. God alone determines the proper preparation for entering his kingdom. Jesus concludes the parable by saying, Many are called, but few are chosen. Many hear God's invitation, but only those who genuinely respond according to his will share in the blessings of his kingdom. The religious leaders immediately resume their efforts to trap Jesus. Joining forces with the Herodians, the Pharisees ask whether it is lawful to pay taxes to Caesar. Their question is designed to place Jesus in an impossible position. If he opposes paying taxes, he could be accused before the Roman authorities. If he supports paying them, he risks losing favor with many of the Jewish people. Knowing their hypocrisy, Jesus asks for a tribute coin and points to Caesar's image upon it. He answers with perfect wisdom, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. With this statement, Jesus affirms that civil authorities have legitimate authority in their proper sphere, while reminding his hearers that their highest allegiance belongs to God. Human government has its place, but God alone deserves complete devotion and obedience. Unable to answer him, his opponents leave in amazement. Once again, Christ demonstrates divine wisdom that no earthly scheme can overcome. This passage reveals both the grace and the holiness of God. He freely extends his invitation, yet he also holds people accountable for how they respond. At the same time, Jesus teaches that believers should fulfill their rightful responsibilities in society without ever compromising their ultimate loyalty to God. The parable of the marriage feast is part of Jesus' kingdom teaching directed toward Israel and follows his rebuke of the nation's unbelieving leaders. The invitation, rejection, and judgment should be understood within that prophetic kingdom context. The statement, "Many are called, but few are chosen," should not be interpreted as Paul's explanation of how members of the body of Christ receive salvation. Likewise, the wedding garment should not be used to teach that believers today maintain salvation through personal works or righteousness. Under Paul's gospel, sinners are justified by grace through faith in the finished work of Christ. Rightly dividing the passage allows us to appreciate its kingdom setting while preserving the clarity of the gospel of grace revealed through the Apostle Paul. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more KJV Bible teaching. Until next time, search the Scriptures. Grace be with you.